Good evening, everybody. Welcome to an all-new special episode of Holotheatre. I am Dan Sartaglione, also known as D-Sartag1. We got a bunch of co-hosts tonight, and I love it. Joining me tonight from a hotel in Duluth is Garrett Larson. Joining me to my left is a man who needs no introduction. Matt Lutz is on tonight, joining us from Minnesota as well, and the one and only Sheriff of Gemp, Batmouse, as gracing us with his presence. And
hey, howdy, hey.
So we got this is our end of the year episode. It is a
we got B. Fred here. You got to introduce him.
I mean, he
needed to know what to do.
Okay, and joining us as a special treat to everybody because it is almost Christmas is the last year's Holotheatre Guest of the Year, Mr. Brian Fred. Brian, thank you for joining us. It is a treat to have you on tonight. Gentlemen, it is a pleasure to have you on. It's been for a very long time for some of us. So definitely, I feel great having you guys on. Before we get into the real meat and potatoes of the show, we do got to go through some just really quick announcements as always. Starting off with the current big event that's going on in Star Wars CCG right now, which is the Jawa Cup. Right now, there's a few players who are sitting at 2-0. They are David Woods, AJ Hatum, member of the Killer Bees, and Connor Britton. So all three of those players have defeated both their first round's opponents. So we'll see what happens with the rest of the event. We will try and stream some more of the Jawa Cup as it continues, so make sure you guys stay tuned to see if we can get any of those games in. Yeah, I'm excited. I see Matt, you're 1-0. I think Batmouse is 1-0. No, wait, no, Batmouse is 0-1.
I'm 0-1.
Yeah, you lost to Scotland Grell.
Scott.
Either
I did.
Garrett, you are currently 1-0. Brian, you're not playing.
Outrider.
Oh, that's right. You are in the Outrider Cup. Are you excited for that?
Yeah. I mean, it's cool too. The little discussion for the team that, seeing basically like what Team 5 goes through with Hayes for one. Hayes, I love you, buddy. I can see how you're very outspoken in your chat. Seeing Desai and his thought process for stuff, and then since Tom had to step down, sorry, Tom. Wish Tom would have been on the team, but we have 3 new allies, guys. So we're just basically like going through decks right now and trying to decide who's playing what.
That's awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Looking forward to me playing Burge and Diplo.
I mean, if you're pulling out the version of the Diplo, why not? Like,
hey, it's 1v1. We play one game, right? I could catch somebody on some sort of like crazy Obi-Wan community with no ship stack and just like run rampant with
why
Burge,
not? I mean, you know what I'm excited for? I'm excited. I want to see you versus Timo Dussel.
I don't know that I've ever played Timo, so I actually look forward to that.
So, but yeah, speaking of
especially if he's playing.
I was going to say, so speaking of the Outrider Cup on January 5th, the matchups will be paired up together by Hall of Famer Chris Schoenthal. He will be streaming a live pairing of the first and second round, so make sure you guys tune into all that because that is definitely going to be a fun little thing. I know a lot of people are excited for the Outrider Cup.
It's a very interesting format. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah. So moving on, the next major is in Atlanta. I know there's a few people in the chat currently who are really excited for that. I see that again, the Supreme Southern Showdown is January 12th through the 14th out in Atlanta. If you are interested in it, make sure you guys register soon, as the pre-registration links are up there. Friday is the Q Spectacular. Sunday is the main event, Saturday is the main event, with Sunday as the top 8 and the Jawa format consolation. That one is kind of interesting because the Jawa Cup's going on right now, so if you're playing in the Jawa Cup, you might have an edge over some of the people there.
Bring the same lists.
And then right now there are currently 17 players going, including Mr. Matt Lutz and son. So, are you excited to take Leaf down to Atlanta and get some Star Wars games in?
Yeah, it's going to be good. He's excited about it. He's playing in the Java Cup. He played Garrett in round 1 of the Java Cup. And as always, thanks and appreciate Garrett for his courtesies in and with that game. Yeah, Leaf's excited.
Your kid's an awesome person, and it was a fun game.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be his first time on an airplane.
Oh wow!
So we actually did a tour.
Leaf, future member of New Allies.
He's got a shirt.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
No,
He's your Hall of Famer, Leaf.
Here we go.
And then I noticed that Brian Fred, you're also going. It seems like you go to every major. So glad to see you going.
I just like to see everybody. I mean, even if I'm not the most excited with the game at the time, I just like to hang out and see people, go to dinners, make jokes, play mountain goats.
Yeah,
all the fun stuff.
Edward 40 Hands.
Hey now.
Oh God.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that.
We're too old for that.
I don't know that I ever did that, but I know of what it was. And yeah, probably too old at this point.
I think we're all at that point. So, and then also coming up now, if you got last Friday was the first day that the 2024 donation program was out there. Donations already started. People have already donated to the PC. So again, thank you for that. Again, all your donations go straight to the PC, and everything goes back into the community in some fashion. Big thank you to everybody. Again, big thank you to everybody who has donated. I mean, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the donations.
Yep. Hey, Dan, jumping back to the Atlanta Major,
yes.
The booking group rate link expires after tomorrow, the 22nd.
Oh.
So if you're going and haven't booked yet, please jump on that.
Get your rooms.
Don't put it off.
You definitely want to stay. I think as somebody who can say this, you definitely want to stay at the hotel, not anywhere away from the hotel, because a lot of the
even staying with Kessling, like Kessling and I will be at the hotel Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
And it's a nice hotel, super nice hotel.
Now, is it the same one at Worlds was held out last year? Okay, that's good.
It's 2 years, 2022, yeah.
And then tomorrow, from what I understand, Chris Kelly will be releasing the Set 23 preview cards. So we've already seen the game text and everything, so those will be released, as well as I believe all the erratas. So make sure you guys get in your if you want to play some like Honshu and the Falcon like it is right now, make sure you get it in soon. Otherwise, you're losing 2 seats on the Falcon. So
wondering if that card is even playable anymore, honestly, with the amount of people trying to play Furry Fury already, and the fact that you can't have forfeit fodder on there. Now you just get blown out by Furry Fury and don't even have anybody you can forfeit off of it. You just get blown out big time.
Start putting other ships in your
space.
space.
The layout of the land is about to change.
Always nice.
And I think we're actually going to come. One of the things that I want to do early next year is have some players on, come up with some of the stuff, the meta and everything, especially before Atlanta. Like, have some pros coming on, players that are going to Atlanta. I'd like to have our newest advocate. Again, big congratulations to Mike on that. But I'd love to have him on, talk about Atlanta, and maybe talk about some of the new ally techs that we're going to see down there. Hey, I mean, it feels like the new allies are Star Wars at this point. Or Star Wars is the new allies. But that's all the announcements that we really have. So why don't we get into the meat and potatoes of the show? Again, this is the last episode of the year. We usually do take off the week of Christmas, and unfortunately being that Christmas is on a Monday this year, and next Thursday is the 28th, which is my dad's birthday, I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can't do Holotheatre on the 28th.
Got a good excuse. That's fine.
Reasonable. So let's talk about 2023 as a whole with Star Wars. I for one thought that 2023 was a really good year. There was a lot going on. Definitely an exciting time. Matt, why don't you talk? Like, be the first. I know because you can't really stay that long tonight, but why don't you be the first to talk about like some of the highlights that you had this past year?
Sure. So I, from a highlight perspective, uh, we played in the U.S. Nationals here in Minnesota and got a nice thunder snow that Friday night, and then was able to come down to Worlds. A couple of highlights from that is we talked about Leaf already. He's my 11-year-old, almost 12. He'll be coming to Atlanta for his first traveling major. But he was able to play in the Cube and the Constellation Nationals and really enjoyed it. And then most recently, we got him a GEMP account, and so he's on there and playing games throughout the day. He gets home from school, he gets about an hour in. So he's really, I think, every day he comes home, he's got some sort of question. Dad, how do I search for this card, or what is this? I want to talk to you about this deck I built. Then we can talk about, you need to find ways to pull your locations, Leaf. We'll start there. So he's having a blast with it. A couple, outside of the actual games themselves, I really enjoyed going to New York City this year. My wife Jackie came along. She went into New York City, every day and saw 5 Broadway shows in 4 days and just was kind of living her best life. Get to meet some of you folks other than just showing up and being there that one day on Saturday Nationals. And then a couple of kind of game related things. I've never been able to play an OCS a whole lot just from a time commitment standpoint. But I really appreciated Mike Kessling for hosting boot camp this past summer at his house. That was excellent and amazing. We played 90 something games in over 3 days between all of us, and that was fantastic and got really good to prep for Worlds. And then some in-game things, going back to Nationals. I really have started to really like the Cube event now that I've kind of figured out how the thing operates. I won that event at Nationals. A couple of key things. I lost to Batmouse in the final game. I can't, because OA is just strong there. And I got blown out, I think, at some site. But I was playing a game against Carl Koenig, who drew a 7-4 Sense Destiny on a critical clash. And that turned out rough for him, drawing against, of course, Dooku. And then a couple other kind of in-game things. That kind of same weekend, I was playing a Hunt Down V game. Playing as Hunt Down V, and I slotted Luke, which makes Luke lost if his forfeit drops to 0. I was able to pull that off once, I think, against Cal. And then going into Worlds, going back to the Cube and such event, I was able to finally play against Johnny Chu, beat Johnny Chu in a Cube game, and then, of course, split the weekend against Apollo, going 1-1 against him with 1 loss in the main event, and 1 loss or 1 win in Cube itself. So looking forward to 2024, going to Atlanta, and the plan is go to Euro Worlds and bring Jackie along as well. And we'll see what happens with Leaf and OCS, and maybe he'll sign up. Maybe I'll get him to sign up for it.
So I know that you really didn't play in the OCS this year. You really didn't have the time. Are you hoping to play in it this year?
If I don't play in it, the PC can have my $50. No, I will sign up for it.
That's what I've done.
Yeah, I'll sign up for it. And what I'm trying to do right now is make sure that I play at least a game a week to kind of keep myself honest and on. Maybe we'll bump that up to 2. We'll see. But I'm trying to get those games in, not only in from league stuff, but just doing. I always enjoy doing play testing, so trying to squeak those games in. And that's kind of the plan tomorrow when Jackie's at a musical.
Nice. So
when the wife is away, Star Wars game will be played.
Hey man,
why not?
Everyone's got their thing.
Yeah.
And it rhymed.
So I know that you said that you played Hyperdrive at Worlds. Are you hoping to get more games in with it this year?
In probably a constellation type format. The hope is I've got more games in with more kind of tier 1 or tier 2 decks to play them more.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean I went into Worlds and played Hyperdrive at, among others, B. Fred's recommendation. I just knew it. And the deck was the meta was prime. The meta was prime for it, but there were plenty of new cards that probably hadn't been out there, teched for, etc. So I had fun. It was great.
I was gonna say I liked that deck.
I liked it a lot.
And I liked how like we were almost like working on it together a little bit at boot camp, and that was pretty fun.
Yeah. I liked every single card in it. I wish I could have 1 or 2 more slots, but that's one of the beauties of the game. You get that 60.
We need to be able to play Obi-Wan underneath the shields and be able to play him twice per game from under the shields. Then we'd have a deck.
Then we have a deck.
You know what? You know what it needs? It needs a Great Dragon Howl virtual card.
Lord!
Where you can start Obi-Wan on the table.
I saw Lingrel reminiscing about that the other day somewhere. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Come on, Garrett. You know you would love it.
No, I played in that era, dude. No,
I mean, come on. It wasn't any worse than like Watch Your Step V or the V that was like with the musicians and everything.
This is supposed to be a positive show.
It is.
We don't need to talk about all the.
Hey, I'm going to say this from my standpoint. That was a positive time because that was the only time that I could do better than Reed Smith in a tournament.
The original was horrendous. When it got errata down to I think a +3, it was
down
manageable. The original didn't have a cap.
I'll go look at it.
You deploy six musicians and have 80 power.
Yeah. It's one of those things where every time I look at it, learn of the
and I think you retrieved a force when you played him or something.
Yep.
Yeah. It was.
And then it eventually turned into a celebration style retrieve with the sites your musician occupy, and I built a DBO out of it that used the 3 rebel musicians, and it was far better than it had any business being.
I did the same. I had a musical DBO. Musical DBO was great.
Yeah.
I had Mike Jam autograph
DBO
my
too.
Gronder and Muse because he was only a musician because Mike kept pushing for it. So
Would it be?
Oh man, you know what? The worst part about that time frame though was the starting effects. That was it. Everything else was great.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
right, guys, I got to rock and roll. Good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
Folks.
Take care, Matt.
Have a good night, Matt.
Thank you for coming on, Matt.
Thanks, guys.
Bye bye.
Christmas card.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Take care, Batmouse.
So before we go into like Garrett, Batmouse, and B. Fred, let's talk about Chris Kelly because he sent some stuff over as well. So Chris's highlights this year, from the standpoint of Holotheatre, he enjoyed playing me live multiple times and getting in some really good trash talk against me. I mean, who doesn't like doing that?
Who doesn't like winning every single game?
Zing!
Sadly, I can say that I've lost a game to Dan, so it's not every single game. But I think I won like 8 and lost 1. So
I feel like a me versus you record.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking, Dan. Look at Dan trying to piece it
Garrett's the one who I probably have the worst record against.
Yeah, we've only played a few times.
And I've lost each of them.
Well, I mean, I think Garrett beat me like 3 times to 0 at Ohio, so at least twice.
I think it was just twice because I
more
didn't
than that.
play you on Sunday. I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I definitely got my butt kicked by Garrett too.
But Chris definitely loved doing the spoiler shows, and he, I guess he thoroughly enjoyed doing the lore challenges, even though he struggled. I mean, you would think like the designer of the cards would be good at lore challenges.
But he designed so many.
I know.
How are you gonna know them all?
But as for playing, he really enjoyed playing in the deck box series. He thought they were like quick events and everything. They were reminding him of like the local tournaments as a kid.
I'm sad that I didn't get to play in any of those actually.
Same.
Garrett played in a few.
Yeah, I think I played in all of them.
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was a good, generally a good use of an afternoon type thing.
So, Brian Fred, you're on the show. Let's talk about your highlights of the year. They could be anything Star Wars related, even not Star Wars related. Like, what did you enjoy about 2023?
I mean, for the most part, it's just like enjoys like seeing people and getting to hang out with people the most. I really enjoyed the Ohio event. Garrett was there with us, and just like we were just like, I mean, we played Star Wars cards obviously, but it was just like so the after event stuff was just like fun to just like bond with people and that kind of thing. I mean,
Brian's been freezing like a while. Him and I have been having issues.
it's one of the. I'm definitely looking forward to the one coming up since what 2007 maybe. You know, that felt nice. I felt like I was on top of my game there. You know, just I mean, just in general, it's just a fun year. I wish I would have been able to make it to Minnesota, but
yeah,
I had some financial struggles with losing my mind with football cards, but we're working through that. It's much better now. We'll put it that way. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's just like really fun to go to the events and see everybody. Wish everybody could go to every event, but
yeah.
When you see people for the first time, and like I saw Ryan Searson when I saw he was signed up for Seattle, and I got to see him back-to-back weekends. It was just like hadn't seen him in like a year, so it's just like it's really nice to just see people like that again.
To piggyback that really quick, like the four of us who did Seattle and then did the Columbus event was just so fun. Like
that's probably my two favorite weekends of the year. Getting to back those two.
Oh, yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah, I can like don't get me wrong. I complained about Kendall like scheduling it back to back and everything, just because I mean I like to complain, but at the same time like it just made it so much more fun. Like going up there
birthday,
seeing,
bro.
Huh?
It's his birthday. That was his
I mean,
birthday
my birthday I spent in Seattle with you guys.
You did?
But
I was your birthday present. I showed up for you.
Yeah, that was a really good.
I want Bat Mouse as a birthday present. Like seriously.
And then I turn around and throw a tournament in Vegas for my birthday, and
hey! I used up all my free hours for work with COVID, so I blame Garrett.
Bat Mouse, I'm telling you, Bat Mouse, if you make the Vegas thing for your birthday a yearly thing, I will come every year after this, and you can bring that up too. Ooh. I will fly into LA, and I will drive to Vegas with you.
Did you fly to Vegas or drive?
Every year?
I drove in. I brought the wife and kids, and it was a great weekend. We had a lot of people traveled in. It was great.
Yeah,
it was good stuff.
Now I don't think Brian Fred can drive.
I guess he won the Decipher only event. Jarrett McBride is actually a guy that used to play in Lafayette in my locals, like 20 years ago. Yeah. So I mean, I've since reconnected with him through Facebook and stuff. It was really neat to see that he played in an event there and did well in it.
He did very well. Yeah, he was good. Good to meet him. It was good to meet his brother.
Yeah, both of them. We got
a lot of retro players to come out, and it was great to see people playing the retro game, and then watch their wonders.
I think they lived in
all
Kokomo
the people that traveled out,
or right around there, and they drove. Yeah, but Bat Mouse, make it a yearly thing, bro, and I will come every year.
I am very, very tempted to do that. We'll make that the start of the playoff season and go from there.
There you go.
I mean, it's Vegas and it's Bat Mouse. Like, what more could anybody even need as an excuse to
brisket
go to an event? You know,
brisket.
Wow. When you say brisket, I hope you're implying that we were buying him a brisket dinner for his birthday instead of him cooking for us. Now, if it was a San Diego event that he cooked for us, okay. But we're not making Bat Mouse cook on his birthday.
Why not?
We're buying Batman. We're taking turns feeding Bat Mouse for the entire weekend. Is what we're doing.
I love that. I love that so much.
You're making his head too.
Hey, I'm in.
Hey,
I'm saying,
okay, you win. I can't argue with Brian Fred. I've determined that earlier.
I've got dibs on one of the dinners. Dan's gonna have one too now. I have Garrett goes. Garrett. We'll get Garrett to get one if he's actually able to make it. But I'm in.
For what? Buying Batmouse dinner or
Look at
feeding
this. I'm
Batmouse?
roping you guys in too.
Are we talking about feeding Batmouse or buying him dinner?
You have to buy him dinner and then feed him.
This sounds like a fantasy football punishment.
It is, and you have to wear a unicorn outfit that says "I suck at fantasy football." While
And
you're
he's
doing
I'm
gotta
not
get
Lenny.
Batmouse is my hero shirt. Batmouse is my hero.
What if the only unicorn outfit you wear normally doesn't have an "I suck at fantasy football" on it?
On a side
Do I have
note,
to buy a whole nother one?
Yes.
I need to get in on this league next year with Batmouse and Dan.
Are we talking about the?
Yep.
You want to be involved in the Killer Bees League with myself,
Oh
Batmouse,
no, my
and Garrett?
keeper league.
We're doing Batmouse and I are going to make
keeper
a
league.
money league.
Yeah,
Batmouse and I are going to
money
make the
keeper
Star Wars
now.
CCG money league.
Okay.
Keepers.
Okay. We'll talk. So before we get into Garrett and Batmouse, let's go into Greg's in. Greg sent us over some highlights as well. He sent over a lot. So, and I'm not going to take away from Greg. He did a lot
episode.
this year. Huh?
I said 2-hour episode.
Yeah. Greg taking the place of Drew. So, but yeah, Greg was talking about like how he really enjoyed releasing the two Hoth objectives, the clone objectives. They said that they were ones that he was like there were high demands in it, and he really was happy to get those out. The artwork that the graphics team came up with was really nice. Some of his favorites were Asajj Ventress, Aplak, the new Kylo Ren, and then all three of the objectives. And he really liked doing the 2023 or the set 23 preview cards. For those who don't know, Greg actually helped out a lot with the graphics team. He was one of the people that came in and really busted out a lot of these graphics. He was able to find a lot of them. And so big thank you to Greg for taking the time and doing a lot with the graphics team, even though you didn't need to. He's really happy that the Apple iOS finally has their own Holocron app to compete with the Android Comlink app. He's enjoyed the fact that he's been part of podcasts and any of the other shows that have been on. He was glad to see that Mike became an advocate, and he's looking forward to the fact that Mike is going to bring a lot to the table. And then, but I will say this though, I agree with Greg on this. The fact that Adam stepped down, losing Adam Fletcher as an advocate and as a volunteer really was kind of sad. Like, Adam was a good part of the community, but I mean, he's still going to be a part of the community. He's one of those people that is always going to be a part of it. Like, he's not forgotten. He's part of the Force at this point. 69 players at Worlds, and the fact that he was able to volunteer at the event was really good. He was proud of Wayne going 6-2 on day one at Worlds. I think he was also really happy. I think a lot of us were happy to see this, that Scott did really well with the Jedi testing deck, especially with Greg's At Peace virtual card. And glad to see that Casey and Hayes did really well getting to the finals. It was a really good finals. Like I mean, watching and just seeing like the commentary that Joe and I think it was Jeff did for the finals was really well and just exciting. Like, and then the whole get together with New York was fun. And then again, like you said, big congratulations to Chris Schoenthal and Greg Shaw for getting into the Hall of Fame, because both of them definitely deserved it. So, thank you, Greg, for doing that. I mean, I really can't say much more about like Greg and Chris. Like that was seeing Chris get in at San Diego was really nice, and then seeing Greg just like watching Bill give the speech for Greg was fitting.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Garrett, or you know what, Batmouse, we're gonna save Garrett for last, because I will say this, like so Scotland Grell sent some stuff over as well, and one of them was the fact that Garrett was such a great co-host for Holotheatre. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Definitely got into the role, and I'm so I hope you're gonna stick around, Garrett.
I plan to.
Batmouse, what are your 2023 highlights of the year?
So I think one of my biggest highlights was the taco bar in San Diego.
Everybody's highlight, Batmouse. That was everybody's highlight.
I made the food. I walked through the room, and I thought everyone was mad at me because you know us. There's a room full of 30 of us. There is conversation everywhere. You could hear a pin drop in that room when I walked through it. It was that quiet. To get an entire room of us to be quiet, kind of a feat. So that was probably my like biggest highlight. And then I guess I was okay at cards this year. I did a few things with cards.
Beast mode at cards.
I wish I could. I mean, I was all right. I didn't win a lot. I just a state championship, a regional championship, a few top fours, a couple top eights. You know,
nothing too big.
Just a couple.
Nothing too big.
Nothing too big. I mean, but it's been nice to be able to finally meld the Batmouse kind of stuff with like real decks apparently, and have that work out for me. It's been kind of nice. And then like the Killer Bees have been great. The Indoor Gentlemen's Club have been amazing. I've worked with Dylan a lot. These guys really helped in a year that was extremely rough for me personally. Mm-hmm. In a year that is probably the worst personal year of my life. This has been the best Star Wars year of my life, and I want to thank my Killer Bees teammates, specifically Garrett reaching out, Dan reaching out, making sure that my head was screwed on straight at times, and even when it wasn't, that they could talk me through it and know that they were there to talk with me about it. And I thank all of you guys.
Love you, buddy.
Big hug, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely, man.
So yeah, so I love that this was a good year for cards, and I love that people came out and supported things. And please, everyone, play this game. This is a great game. The people in this game are some of legitimately the best people I've ever met in my life, and I would not trade them for anything.
Even a Queen Amidala AI.
I mean, I still have one just sitting around. I beat somebody for that too, right? I think I had to win more games in a 10-game span. What? Oh yeah, I won that too.
I need a signed Queen Amidala AI, Dan.
You have one.
Hey, but I don't have two.
Well, you know my price.
4. Even though the Euros, I heard, only play one Amidala in their WAP deck. So maybe I only need the one. I'll just use one, and if it dies, I mean, it didn't help against Garrett. Garrett was like, "I'm not losing this throne room." He's like, "You can try your second."
That was
story time.
Was happy there.
What was this?
Comfortable.
What was this?
One of the games Garrett smashed me in Ohio when I was playing WAP.
The Ohio, my 12-card hunt down against B. Fred's WAP.
Was it your 12-card hunt down, or was it Batmouse's 12-card hunt down?
I changed 3 entire cards in that. Thank you very much, and they were
it was Garrett's. I changed one card from Casey's deck list, and it was my hunt down then.
How'd you do with it?
Who, me or him?
You.
I won a regional with it.
Oh, okay.
Recipes are a rule of 3. So if you change 3 things in it, it is yours.
So but Casey, I told Casey before Worlds to put ComScan detection in his hunt down deck, and he flat out refused to do it. I play him the top 4. He's like, "I'll sniper your Jin." He draws a 3 and he draws a 6, and I'm just like, "We'll handle this." And he's like, "Okay." Then a few turns later, he's like, "I'll Force Lightning Jin." Draws a 2, and he's like. He even says right there, he's like, "Right about now, I really wish I would have put that ComScan detection in that you told me to put in."
So I know that the saying is, "What would Batmouse do?"
He would play ComScan detection.
I think
I have it in my list.
I think we need a "What would Brian Fred do?"
I do this. I mean, I'm not doing anything Batmouse wouldn't do. Batmouse probably had Comscan in his deck.
I do have it in my list.
Batmouse is a good player, though. Not to say Casey's not a good player. Obviously, he made top 2 worlds, but he made a questionable decision after I hounded him for 3 days in New York about playing Comscan detection.
You told him what to do. You told him not to fight you, and then he decided to come and fight you anyway? Oh, wait, that was our game.
Oh, yeah, that was but then against Batmouse, though, to be fair.
I am Batmouse.
He is Batmouse, and the characters that I drew against Batmouse, in my opening hand, I had 1 Padme and 1 Luke Rebellion's Hope. And when I drew cards when I looked at my force pile the first turn, there was 0 Jedi in there, but there was 2 Anakins. So I got super excited until I got to the next turn. I was just like, oh yeah. I was like, Anakin can't fight either. That game was foobarred anyways, Batmouse. There was no way. And by then, Batmouse had 12 cards in his hand and like Blizzard 4.
Blizzard 4
and I want to say like P59 or something at the downtown plaza. I was just like, all right, I'll just deploy Anakin by himself.
And I'm just imagining Batmouse sitting there with his little grin, like.
That's literally what happened. I mean, yeah.
Looking all innocent.
Like, no matter what I did.
So
I am Batmouse.
This is a good transition point, though.
Needless to say, I haven't beat Hunt down at all this year. I don't think. Garrett crushed me, Batmouse crushed me, and Casey crushed me. Even though Casey almost lost that game because he refused to play Comscan, but then he changed that card. I'm assuming after Worlds.
So really quick, this is a good transition because we're going to talk about Robbie Hendon, who
but he gave me a chance. He gave me a chance.
So Robbie was really his highlights included seeing again Chris and Greg get into the Hall of Fame. They're both really good members of the community. Definitely deserved it. He said, "Batmouse, who knew you could cook so damn good?"
Oh my God,
that's literally what Robbie said.
I'd heard rumors at that point, but I mean, lots of rumors. So
lots of rumor, and then they turned out to be true apparently.
Oh my God. So
I don't know.
Good.
I'm a food connoisseur. I have yet to taste any tasty Batmouse treats.
Well, you need to go to more events that he does taco bar at.
No kidding. But the last thing that Robbie said was about Hayes winning Worlds. He was the first person to get a hold of him during the AOL era back in like 2003. And he was like talking to him about like his Freedom Con report, how he made the top 4, and trying to get him into as a better player. And he was really glad to see that Hayes got over the hump and won Worlds finally, which I think a lot of people were.
He was on it this year for sure.
Okay, Garrett, your turn. What are your highlights of 2023?
So I'll be honest, I spent the last couple hours trying to figure out what I want to say here, and I don't know that I have anything that wasn't a highlight in 2023. Like 2023, I started doing streaming, which has been an absolute blast for me. Like as much as I hope, everyone enjoys having me on their computer or phone screens, like it really has been a blast for me just to be able to have fun. I did okay in a couple tournaments. I got a state title I didn't have before. I won a couple of retro tournaments, so I'm currently the reigning national and world retro champion as far as I'm concerned.
Nice.
And, I've just had a blast playing the game. I got to go to Ohio. I got to go to Worlds. I got to host nationals and help host nationals in my backyard and get to hang out with everybody there. This year's been awesome. Like I've had years where I played more and I've had years where I've played probably better, but I've never had years where Star Wars has been this much fun because of everybody around. This has been a spectacular year for me, Star Wars wise, and getting to hang out with Batmouse when we made a couple top 4s, getting Hayes winning Worlds, Chris getting into the Hall of Fame. Like it's all been all been good this year. So next year's got a lot to live up to.
Yeah. I won't disagree with you. I mean, definitely a good year.
I'd like to piggyback on what Garrett said too. I think this was one of the best years, like Star Wars wise, that just enjoyment wise and camaraderie wise that I've had for sure.
I mean, for me, it was like Endor was just great. Like I had a lot of fun. I met, meeting Large Porg was great.
Oh,
that
God.
guy is so fun.
Tommy's great.
Tommy's a great guy.
He's like instantly like moved into my top 10 favorites. I think I don't know who he pushed out. Maybe Dan, but no, I'm just joking, Dan.
I mean, I could see it.
Yeah. Dan wasn't in your top 10 already. What are you?
I mean, I wasn't able to go to. I didn't go to SoCal. I didn't go to Minnesota, but I did go to Worlds. Worlds was a blast. Like I didn't play, but doing commentary is always fun. I feel like I definitely turned a corner, at least for me, doing commentary. Garrett, you have been so like. Don't get me wrong. I love doing commentary with everybody, but Garrett, you just made something special about it this year.
As I say, you two guys are like the dynamic duo. You guys are great together. I like Garrett and Dan. You guys should literally replace Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on football too, because man,
I don't know
those guys. Football. Those guys are the opposite. You guys are like the biggest end of the spectrum, and those guys are like the lowest end of the spectrum. Those guys are.
Your fantasy record reflects that, Dan.
I'm on 8 teams.
Wow.
I mean, how many? I made the playoffs in like.
Where'd your T-shirt at? Where'd you get that T-shirt?
That was 2 years ago.
Aren't you going to get that this year too?
No. Actually, it's Matt Thornton has to do it.
Oh, Glenderland.
Yeah.
Joining the club. T-shirt club.
No, I don't know. Like, I mean, for me, just everything that the volunteers have done this year has been exceptional.
Thank you so much to all the volunteers. Like, I'm sorry to interrupt Dan, but yes, Dan, 100%. Like all of you, everybody's helped out.
And on top of the volunteers, I mean, it's the advocates. Like, look what Jared has done with marketing. I mean, the prize support has never been better. The deck boxes are like the best things that has come out in the last 10 years. Chris Kelly is making the game fun. Chris is, again, making the game fun. Greg has been so instrumental on so many different things. Adam, even though he left a bit, I mean, it's Adam has left a huge mark on the game. Who am I missing? Mike. I mean, he's a new advocate. He finally got his
he will be
his title.
Missed.
But holy crap, that guy's going to do so much because it's Mike Kessling, like the nicest, most jolly guy out there.
Best laugh in Star Wars community.
Yeah, I know I'm missing other people, but like Taco Bill, working his butt off, getting the tournaments up there. Batmouse, holy crap, dude! You do so much with Gemp, and then the year that you had playing, busting your butt as a player. The year that you had, you didn't win any majors, but
it's really hard to win a major
crap.
though. For not winning a major, oh my God, Batmouse just
every
on fire, dude.
Every event, with the exception of SoCal, because there wasn't one, you were in the top 8. Like, that's so impressive, and just to see one of my
SoCal,
best.
I was 9.
Well, as I said, except for SoCal, because they didn't have a top 8.
They didn't have a top 8. Yeah, they didn't have a top 8.
But to see one of my best friends do it and just to enjoy the ride with him is just amazing.
Love you, buddy.
I could not have been more
I enjoyed losing to him along the journey.
I mean, everybody loves losing to Batmouse because he's Batmouse.
I am Batmouse.
I was you didn't let me finish. I enjoyed losing to him and eating his cookie.
But I mean, there's so much that I could go on. I could literally say an hour myself. Like there's so many people I want to say a big thank you to that make this community such a good and great place. Like,
I want to throw a shout out to
I'm sorry. Like I said,
that
was great time.
Him and Tommy both, like, they. I might just wrote, but yeah, Carl, and he's just been an amazing friend.
Yeah.
I love talking to him and seeing him at all the events, and I'm glad to see they how well he's come and fit into the community. I'm glad that he
Mm-hmm.
came and was like, hey, I'm Carl, and just introduced himself and started hanging out.
Carl's
him and
great.
Tommy have just both been incredible. Anybody watching this, if you're like a quiet type, we
accept quiet types.
Come together really easily, guys. Like, just come up to us and say hi. If you're even if you're like one of the quiet ones, it just you'll just instantly be gracious.
I mean, Garrett's sitting here being quiet, and yet in person he's not.
Yeah, Garrett's oddly introverted at times in person, but what Brian said, and just to reiterate, and I know Brian Avery said it last week, the community, as new players come in, it's
very accepting.
We try so hard to have fun and be welcoming, and like I know it's overwhelming because some of us have known each other for 20 plus years and have been friends forever, but all of us just want to have fun. We're here to have fun. If you show up to an event, you're going to have fun because that's what we're there for.
Yeah.
Show up willing to do stuff.
With Carl and Tommy, they seem like they've been with us the entire time. And, Tommy, I've just met him this year, and Carl I just met last year. And it's like they've been here the whole time. And it's just I love those guys. They're like family to me too, like the guys I've known since 1996, 1997.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't let being the new guy stop you from jumping into that group and becoming family. Who knows? You could be quick to push somebody out of your top 10, like Tommy did to B-Fred. Or Tommy did to B-Fred.
Carl did it the year before, and Tommy did it this year.
Yeah. So now Dan's 11.
I'm not sure who it was yet.
I'm
besides
99.
Dan. Besides Dan, I don't know who else it was.
Batmouse.
No, Batmouse is in the top 5. Are you kidding me?
Batmouse
is in the top 5. Dude.
Time out. Do you know what one of my favorite things, the highlight of 2023 was? And this is to be Fred.
Uh-oh.
You introducing me to Jenny's ice cream.
Was it me?
Yes.
Well, Kessler introduced me to Jenny's ice cream in Atlanta, and then we had it in Ohio.
Yeah.
And then I remembered. I don't know how it happened, but I was just at my local Meijer and found out they had Jenny's in Indianapolis. And I was just like, and now I'm 30 pounds heavier, by the way, guys. So, freaking
story time, really quick. So the worst/best part about that was we have this tournament, we play. Kendall's like, okay, let's go to my favorite Mexican restaurant after the event. So we all go
Chinese.
Well, we tried to go to Mongolian barbecue, but it was too packed. So we go to his Chinese restaurant or his Mexican restaurant. We go over. Everybody orders. Everybody orders. Everybody gets their food except for me. And I'm sitting there eating the chips and salsa.
There's always one person.
Yeah. And
it
I'm
always happens to one person.
And I don't get I asked the girl 40 minutes later, hey, where's my food? And she's like, oh, it will be right out in 20 minutes. I'm like, people are done. I'm ready to leave. And then Brian Fred's like, you know what? Let's go get ice cream. And just yes, I need ice cream. And so, and of course, it's the best ice cream. So I go back in afterwards, and I'm like 2 or 3 containers of it, and I'm driving from Columbus back to Pittsburgh with a bag that has ice in it with Jenny's ice cream. All because I hung out with Brian Fred.
It is really that good, that ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dan's most thankful thing from 2023 is Jenny's ice cream.
I'm a sucker for any good ice cream.
I wrote that down on a Post-it note.
I'm literally a sucker for any good ice cream. You want to bribe me with something? Ice cream.
So
except for chocolate.
We asked what the best parts about 2023 are. I gotta get another name drop here. Worst parts of 2023 was not having Dennis Reinhardt at any events. My original Ice Cream Brother. I think I saw Dennis is going to Atlanta, so I'm very excited to reconnect with Dennis.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know if he even watches Holotheatre or not, but
No.
Dennis, I miss you, brother, and hope to see you soon.
Okay, so I'm surprised you didn't touch upon this, Brian Fred. So just to so last year, and it was announced this year, you became the 2022 Holotheatre Guest of the Year, the first co-guest of the year with Johnny Chu, and we put the picture of you that Ryan Searson made of you with all the deck boxes with the Infinity Gauntlet on your card, and so you became immortalized in a Star Wars card, being that you were the guest of the year. So I think it is this time that I turn the floor over to you. You have as much time as you want. You can do anything you want, but I would like you to announce the 2023 guest of the year.
Are we playing the video?
Nope, you can do it right now.
Play the video that I did. We're just doing it live.
Yeah.
All right. Well, co-guest Holotheatre of the year last year, and it's actually I was really excited to get that because I really wanted to make a card and be able to put my face on there and use that. So, but enough about me. Without further adu, the voting was very close. Dan told me 66 people voted.
66.
5 votes separated at first and second. And I am sorry to say, Batmouse, you were the one that got second place by 5 votes. And I love you to death, Batmouse, but I thought that you had already won. So my vote went to this year's Holotheatre Guest of the Year winner, Brian Avery, Frodo Light.
That's awesome.
And, by 5 votes, I thought that I met him at Worlds. He was awesome. I know, and he's a really big persona on GIMP, and you hear him. Sometimes you come into the lobby and you just see 100 Frodo Light posts in a row of just nonsense. And I know that a lot of people at first might have, thought not the greatest of him, but you get to meet a person in person and get to see how they are, and he was awesome. I liked him, and I really enjoyed the content that he's actually, when you actually get him on Holotheatre and like talking about stuff, it was really nice. And I voted for him. I thought Batmouse had already won. Obviously, I mean, I wish they both could have co-guest won. We could have made 30 and 30 votes or something, and throw in a third place a few votes. But our winner this year, Brian Avery, Frodo Light.
And
congratulations, man.
Yeah, definitely. Big congratulations.
I'm interested to see what card he picks.
Yeah.
And as Frodo Dark, I'm quite happy that Frodo Light won. So.
Yes.
Frodo Dark.
Yes.
Yeah, I am Frodo Dark.
And I will say,
is that a new name?
Frodo Dark.
No, I've had that one for a while. I've had that one.
Oh, have you?
Yep. Me and him go back and forth.
So I will say this though, Brian is going to be hosting the inaugural 2023 Beezer's Bowl out in Connecticut this weekend. So make sure a lot of you are going to that, and it looks like it's going to be a heck of fun.
You know what's funny? To think of it, somebody bought every Corporal Beezer I had recently, and I didn't recognize that Frodo's Light's name was Brian Avery. I didn't put the 2 and 2 together until just now, when I was just like, oh yeah, that was Brian. I'm pretty sure it was Brian Avery that bought all of those. And now they seeing the name and knowing it's Frodo Light and hearing the Beezer Bowl.
Yeah.
That's all kind of cracks me up a little bit. If I would have known that, I would have probably found a few more Corporal Beezers for him. I'm sure I've got some somewhere, I
mean, she's a what? A common or an uncommon? She's an uncommon, right? But it is kind of a rare set.
It seems like most of the unique characters were uncommons. I know very few unique Endor and Death Star 2 people were commons. So
yeah,
all of the uniques might have been uncommon. So yeah, and she was in the Death Star 2 starter deck, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Yeah. So Yep, big congratulations to Brian. I will say this, like, I for one, being that I did the whole Holotheatre thing, I think it was definitely a better voting system this year. I do, so we're going to continue with the whole. You got the list of everybody, and then we get to the top 3. So, big congratulations to Brian,
like
Batmouse, and Timo for being the top 3. Like, that's impressive. So,
yeah, I could have sworn Timo and Batmouse had both won
Timo
already
did.
because they both had Hollow Hero cards. That's why I thought that I thought that all of them were very deserving of winning, but I thought that Batmouse and Timo had both won before.
Now I will say, Batmouse is on Maul because he has been a guest, or he's been a host of Holotheatre. Same with Garrett on his Elon Sleazebagano that doesn't see play.
He will once I make Sleazy Mikos.
Do it. I want to see it. So.
No, Batmall.
I know. I was like, I do need a signed Batmall.
We all do.
So if anybody, I need a signed Batmall for whenever I play Shadow Collective. Guys.
And make
or
sure,
2 maybe.
I was going to say, make sure you make it's the updated version. So I'm going to hit up Frodo once we had the announcement of what card he's going to do. We'll let everybody know. However, I think it's that time that we wrap everything up, guys. It's I think it's more than fitting to say big thank you to everybody who's actually tuned in to Holotheatre. Like, we've done 4 solid years of this, over 200 episodes.
Having anything stick for 4 years in this day and age congratulations to you as well, Dan. So, 4 years of like a podcast running and people tuning in and being excited for it and stuff. It's just like a lot of work put into that, a lot of time. So thank you to you as well, Dan.
I do appreciate. I'm doing it for everybody. I believe me. There's other things I could be doing on a Thursday night in cold Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you could be watching the Rams and the Saints.
I know.
What a game!
I know. But again, I think it is time to sign off, everybody. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. It has been a great year. Enjoy yourselves. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Enjoy the rest of 2023. All the best. And as always,
anybody who's watching, I want to tell one more thing. The holiday gift exchange is one of the funnest things of the year, and I'm thankful for the holiday gift exchange. I just want to throw that. You made me, when you said something about the holidays, you made me think of that. Everybody, like just do it, guys. It's fun. Fun to send, fun to receive. Maybe everybody already did do it, but I'm just saying that I would recommend is something. It's just really fun, really enjoyable, fun thing to be able to do.
I did announce the winner of that.
And thank you to Ming
in discussion.
My birthday brother.
In discussion, I did reveal the winner of that.
Everybody's a winner. Everybody's a winner.
Oh,
did you see my onesie? Did you see my blanket?
Costume, I saw that. Batmouse won. Batmouse did win.
Good night, everybody.
But we all win, but Batmouse won more.
And may the force be with you all.
Batmouse won more. But
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry